This isn't just a story about a rumor. It's a story about heartbreak, about silence, about the weight of having to look strong when everything inside you is falling apart. Because the internet has been asking one question. Did Teyana Taylor fake a pregnancy? Or was she just a woman trying not to fall apart while the world was watching? Let's talk about what really happened, and why it might not be what you think. It all began with a blurry Instagram story. No caption, no words, just a single image, a hand resting on what looked like a gently rounded stomach. It wasn't dramatic, but it was enough to ignite the internet. Fan pages immediately reposted the story, adding heart emojis, speculation, and questions. Could Teyana be pregnant, and with Aaron Pierre's baby? The two had been spotted together more and more, from red carpets to Oscars after parties, and they had even shared what looked like an official couple photo. But this suggested a deeper level of intimacy. A pregnancy would be a major announcement, yet no one said a word. Soon, internet detectives got to work. One user zoomed in and compared it to another photo from 2 days prior. The dress was the same, the lighting was similar, but the stomach completely flat. Just like that, a new theory exploded across timelines. Teyana Taylor faked a pregnancy. At first, it seemed unbelievable. Teyana had built her career on being real, raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically honest. Faking something so meaningful, so deeply personal, felt entirely out of character. But then came the tweets. One tweet in particular caught fire. She's trying to trap Aaron. He's halfway out the door and she knows it. It racked up over 3 million views in under 24 hours, and the replies equally harsh. Users began dissecting everything she had posted in recent weeks. That cryptic "New Beginnings" caption with a baby emoji, suspicious, an oversized hoodie in the LA heat, questionable, and Aaron's behavior, telling he had skipped Teyana's BAT tribute night. He missed her daughter Juni's recital. He had stopped liking or commenting on her posts. The once frequent couple shots had vanished. No behind-the-scenes videos. No birthday tributes. Aaron wasn't just missing. He seemed to be intentionally fading out of the picture. Then came the alleged insider leaks. A stylist hinted in a TikTok comment that Teyana had worn a padded belly for a shoot. A supposed friend of Aaron told a gossip blog that he had no idea she was claiming to be pregnant. Nothing was confirmed, but on social media, confirmation is often unnecessary. The court of public opinion had already made up its mind. The story gained momentum. People accused her of being desperate, manipulative, emotionally unstable. They called it a publicity stunt, compared her to other celebrities who had allegedly faked pregnancies or exaggerated personal struggles for attention. But something about this felt different. Fans who had followed Teyana for years pointed out that she had always treated pregnancy as something sacred. It was during her journey into motherhood that her relationship with Eamon Shumpert had grown the most. Their daughter Juni was the emotional core of their love story. Teyana had spoken openly about how transformative that period had been for her. So the idea that she would fake such a powerful, intimate experience felt wrong, which led some to propose a new theory. This wasn't about manipulation, it was about longing. What if Teyana wasn't trying to trap Aaron at all? What if she just wanted to recreate the feeling of love and safety she once had? A connection, a sense of belonging, a bond. When things with Aaron began to slip away, maybe she reached for something. Anything that could make him pause, make him stay, even just for a little longer. This theory hit hard because it suggested something far more human than malicious: heartbreak and survival. As the rumors swirled, Teyana remained silent. She didn't offer statements or clarifications. She didn't play into the media frenzy. Instead, she pulled back. Her Instagram stories stopped. Her public appearances dwindled. That in itself said more than any caption ever could. And then came the post that shifted the energy. A black screen and a single line. No one sees the tears behind the strong woman. It was raw, honest, vulnerable. And for many fans, it hit like a gut punch. The comments poured in. Thousands of voices offering love, support, confusion. Some questioned what it meant. Others didn't need answers. Because for those who had followed her journey, the emotion behind that message was enough. Then came the next move. She deleted every trace of Aaron from her profile. Photos, videos, captions. It was like she was erasing a part of her life, one that had once seemed full of promise. Shortly after, she tweeted 5 words: "I can't lie anymore." 5 words that carried the weight of 100 unspoken truths. What was she confessing? That there was no pregnancy? Or that she was done pretending to be okay? Fans debated, speculated, interpreted. But the common thread? Empathy. Because more and more, people started seeing the situation not as a scandal, but as a breakdown, a deeply human moment of emotional overload. Then, finally, someone from her inner circle spoke, anonymously, and what they revealed gave clarity to the chaos. There was no baby, there was no scheme. Just pain, heartache, desperation. The source shared that Teyana had been trying to hold on to love, to hope, to the idea of a future with someone who was slipping further and further away. She thought if she looked hopeful, he'd stay hopeful too, they said, and that line changed everything. What had looked like manipulation began to be seen for what it truly was: survival. A way to keep breathing when everything else felt like it was closing in. Fans responded with compassion. The tide shifted. Comment sections filled with messages of encouragement. You don't have to be strong all the time. You're allowed to break down. We love you no matter what. Even some of Aaron's followers began to question his silence. Why didn't he defend her? Why didn't he say something, anything, to ease the speculation? Suddenly, it wasn't about gossip. It was about grief. It was about what happens when someone you love walks away, and you're left trying to make sense of the silence. And then came the final blow. Paparazzi photos surfaced of Aaron at an event. He was smiling, laughing, standing close to another woman. The energy between them? Intimate. Too familiar to ignore. There was no statement, but the message was clear: he had moved on. For fans who had hoped this was just a rough patch, it was devastating. For those who believed Teyana had held on too long, it felt like confirmation. And for Teyana, it seemed to signal the end of something she had fought so hard to keep. Her next move was quiet but powerful. A video. No makeup, no caption, just her walking alone on a beach. The wind in her hair, the ocean beside her. Barefoot, reflective, present. There were no words, just stillness. And somehow, that silence spoke louder than anything else. Reports began to circulate that she was stepping away from the spotlight, focusing on her daughter, her healing, her music, and who could blame her? Because sometimes the lies we tell aren't meant to deceive others. They're meant to convince ourselves we're okay, that we still have control, that we're not alone. And maybe that's what this story was really about. Not a fake pregnancy, not a PR stunt, but a woman in pain. A woman trying to hold onto something familiar as it slipped through her fingers. A woman who had given so much to love that when it disappeared, she didn't know who she was without it. In the end, it doesn't matter if the pregnancy was real. What matters is the pain behind it, the vulnerability, the longing, and if we're being honest, Teyana's story is one many people can relate to. Because even the strongest among us have moments when we break, when we hope too hard, love too much, and lose ourselves in the process. So what do you think? Was it a cry for help? A misunderstood plea for love? Or simply the unraveling of someone who had tried to be strong for too long? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell for more stories that go beyond the headlines.